my name is Kelly Bluen. I am a certified Zentangle teacher. Welcome to 15 Minutes of Zen. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a cute little piece of art using the Zentangle method of drawing. I'm using a Micron PN plastic nib pen, a graphite pencil for shading, and a tortillion for blending. Feel free to use whatever you have on hand. I'm also using a 2" by 2" Zentangle brand tile called the Bijou tile. I like to work small for these 15 minutes, but again, you can make this on whatever you've got lying around. All right, I'm going to show you how to make a tangle called Muka, and we're going to add in a little bit of flux. Muka is a Zentangle original. Okay, flip my tile over. I'm going to start with my pencil. And I'm going to begin by putting a dot in each corner and then connecting those dots with a pretty straight line. I'm not going to be overly concerned, but I do want it to be a little bit straighter than I sometimes do. Okay, now I'm going to switch to pen. And we're going to start with this outside border before we begin to make Muka. So with my pen, I'm going to go ahead and ink in those lines. We're going to make a cute little frame for our tangle. Okay, inside this frame in each corner, I'm going to put a circle. A little bit smaller than the cap of my pen. Four circles. And then I'm going to add 2 small circles, one on each side of each of those larger ones. So I'm actually making 8 little circles. And I'm going to take my pen and I'm just going to fill in these little gaps in between these circles, kind of cementing them into that frame. I just need a little bit of ink. And the last step for this frame is that I'm going to add an aura, which is just a line near another line. And I'm adding this aura to create the cutest little frame. This is a fun frame you can do at any time with any tangle you're working on. And my lines are wiggly and it still looks amazing. I did that very quickly. Sorry about that. Okay, so inside this teeny tiny tile, we're going to make some Muka. If you would like to do this in pencil and then go back over it with ink later, feel free to do that. Muka can be a little bit funny to play with until you get the hang of it or find what you like to do. So I'm going to put one coming up this way and off to the right. So I'm just going to start kind of in the middle of my bottom of my tile. And I'm going to go out and over. And I'm going to make this kind of a curly Q at the end. Just making this round circular shape. And then I'm going to bump into that circle and come down. So I'm going to bump in and come down in aura, and then I like to get thinner as I get towards the bottom. Okay, I'm going to do another one, and this time I'm going to start at the bottom again, but I want it to cross over. And I don't want it to be exactly symmetrical. I want it to be maybe a little smaller or down a little ways or up high. Let's do an up high one. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to lift my pen and jump out the other side and do another circle. I made this one a little bit smaller. And then I bump in and aura down, and I get tight at the bottom. There are so many variations of muka, so if you look it up on the internet, there's some really beautiful ones. All right, and now I'm going to do a couple more, just filling in some of these spaces. So I'm going to go back this way again. So I'm going to come over here and add a cute little one down there. Bump in and come down. And I'd like to do 2 more just because I think 5 makes a little bit better piece of art than just 4. So I'm going to come up here and put one in there. Bump in, come down. And I'm going to do one more little one over here just so I don't have an even 4. Using that go behind method where I'm jumping my pen when I hit another line. So that is muka. It also can be done in a beautiful way where you don't really lift your pen and you make a whole series of these mukas all kind of coming in on each other. It's beautiful. Okay, so there's muka, and I'm going to add some reflections just to round out these shapes. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to add a reflection in these larger orbs in the corners. And then to fill in some space, I'm going to do flux. And flux is that elongated teardrop shape. With a line and a couple of dots. And if I want, I can put some in here just for fun. This isn't meant to look like anything, it's just meant to be organic and fun. And I'm going to put a couple of orbs where I can't fit a flux. And maybe I'll put an orb or 2 down here. I also like putting orbs where these cross. Zentangle is all about just playing with an idea and then making it your own. So whatever you want to do on this, go ahead. And then just to ground it a little bit, I'm going to add some ink in these little extra spaces. Definitely need my reading glasses on for this. See how putting some ink in there just fills that in and makes it a little bit more dramatic? And then also putting some ink where I added those orbs. Isn't that so cute? I know I did that quickly. I apologize. Okay, now we're going to shade it. I'm going to pick up my graphite pencil. This is just a little Zentangle graphite pencil. And I'm going to start by going on the outside edge of each of these mukas. kind of want that background to be dark. So I'm going to go around the outside of these mucas so it feels as if they're creating a shadow behind themselves. And I'm going to go around these orbs too. So I'm basically, I guess, going around this entire outer edge, around the muca, around the orbs. Take your time doing this. And at the bottom, I've got some flux, some more orbs to go around. Beautiful. I'm also going to go along the inside edge of my frame. Not for any particular reason, but just because I feel like it'll add a little something. So all along that inside edge. Just like that. I pick up my tortillion. These are available on Zentangle.com or at any art store. Lots of variations of these. Okay, now I'm just going to push that graphite gently away from that shape in the middle. So I'm just pushing it away. Nice and gentle. Trying to create a soft line. You can see right here I didn't put my pencil close enough to the edge and I ended up with a little bit of a white area. Smooth that out. Just lightly pushing that graphite out towards the middle. I'm going all along that outside edge and then also all along the outside of that muca shape that we made. Starting to look kind of dramatic. Isn't that pretty? Those mucas kind of glow. And then just step back and try to make sure you don't have any really definite edges. You want this to be a nice smooth transition from shadow to light. And then I'm going to take my tortillion. I'm not going to add any more graphite, but my tortillion has graphite on it. And I'm going to do this bottom edge of these mucas. Look how that just makes that look a little bit more rounded. Isn't that pretty? And I'm going to do the same thing on these orbs, just the opposite side of the reflection. I'm going to put a little bit of shadow. And then inside my flecks, they're so tiny, but I'm just going to add a little bit in that bottom pointy area. And that's it. 15 minutes and we made a beautiful little piece of art. We always initial our work. Just hide it in there somewhere. And on the back, write the date and write one line about something going on in your life, something going on in your heart, something you've been thinking about. I love going back and reading these and thinking, oh my goodness, I made that while I was at this job or when this was going on in the world. So initial, name on the back, and a journal entry and a date. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a great time.